stop giving monitoring spirits too much power. I do find that people are way too concentrated on monitoring spirit this, being followed that. That's why this was happening, because this monitoring spirit, I came to a certain point that I concluded that yes, the power of your tongue, you know, has is the steering wheel of things happening. Like, it's such a small organ, as it says in Ecclesiastes. I think so. It's a small organ compared to the rest of your body, but the way the power your tongue has to allow vibrations in the air that speak life or not. I find very interesting. I am a believer though that when you speak life, even with plants and stuff, if you speak positive to a plant, the plant will grow. It's bizarre. Bizarre. Like, it's crazy what your tongue can do. But I do find there's this psychosis. I also call this a religious psychosis, where the emphasis, again, where people put a lot of emphasis about a certain topic and use religious language, I call it religious psychosis. So the psychosis where people say that, like, monitoring spirits are, you need to focus it, like, that's where the blame of their whole life, of all their mistakes, is getting pushed. Like, oh, there's monitoring spirit, let me just put on some candle because the monitoring spirit. Oh, this test failed because the monitoring spirit. Oh yeah, that's because that person didn't work out. Okay, that's because of the monitoring spirit. What I see, I'm still deconstructing this, but I've been living in a household, just know where I'm coming from. I've been living in a household where almost everything was linked to the demonic realm. And you would think, like, why is there such, for in the first place, such an obsession with the occult world? Why is there such an obsession with the demonic realm? Okay, this is usually religious folks, like church people who just subscribe to teachings of a religion are, but especially, like, in my case, like, Christianity, especially non-denominational Pentecostal ones. You claim to know all the answers, or like Jesus knows all the answers and Jesus lives within you. Then, in my opinion, it leaves almost no reason to hyper focus on the enemy who Jesus has defeated, right? So, I know already the Christian language for this, as in, like, yes, Jesus was also being, how do you say, is being tempted by the devil. Again, I'm talking about the extreme forms of this psychosis, okay, where things. Let me just. I've been disassociating, by the way, some of the toxic memories that I encountered with this, where I do have certain situation where the blame was put on the devil, and if I would say them out loud, even like the people who are defending this would be like, okay, that's that's overreacting, that's reaching. Okay, I do have this visual for you to explain my point a bit stronger. So, like, this is a person, okay? Very long neck. Okay, this is like a person. Okay. So, let me just, yeah, better. Okay. Living in the world. You have the good old things. Let me just make a crown. You have the good old things you can get in life, and you have, like, the battle things. Should I draw horns? It's very stereotypical, but okay, right. Both of these you have access. Dang, I could have drawn this bigger, but okay, both of this you have access to. Okay, if you focus a lot on that side of the spectrum, okay, on this side of the spectrum, this may feel less than. This may feel like it's not there. The in this case, the savior complex, God, redemption, blessings, luck, love. If you hyper focus here, this is such a messy drawing, by the way. This gets no attention. It's just how I think, by the way, is very with like logic, psychology, with psychology, and some people may not prefer that. Okay, some people may already lost me here, but that doesn't matter. This is how I look at things in general in life. If you hyper focus on something, by the way, this is even biblical. It's like a book in I love Ecclesiastes. It's so, I would say, yeah, down to earth. It's so, yeah, feels very real and chilling, in a good way. But I know there's a verse that says like if you, oh, it was Proverbs. I'm sorry, or it was Proverbs, one of the wisdom books, where it says if you focus on evil, evil will find you. So my theory is biblically backed. Okay, so yeah, you choose where you want to focus on. Okay, do you want to focus on this is a monitoring spirit, that's a monitoring spirit, and by the way, the algorithm, whatever you watch, by the way, which does not help with religious psychosis. I think modern algorithm is such modern algorithm is also part of the problem, because modern day algorithm makes you think that there is some spiritual enlightenment, even though you just watched a lot of videos on that topic and now you think the universe is speaking to you. The universe is not speaking to you. It's just that you clicked on some website with some cookies and some algorithm on some topics you are interested in, and now you get videos recommended or topics recommended towards the thing that you visited very recently, usually. And I do find that this very annoying, especially if someone is already in a psychosis or prone to religious psychosis. They use the algorithm as an excuse, like, the spiritual world is active and I feel guided to this video. Just watch out with these videos, okay? I think also my audience right now, I'm just at the beginning stages, but I think, for example, my audience are people who are, I think, deconstructing some traditional ways of thinking, are people who are free thinkers, that demographic. So it makes sense that my videos get recommended to that demographic and not some kids who like ponies. So if those people in that recommendation bubble are in a psychosis and something in, for example, maybe this video really speaks to someone in a negative way, they will call it like, okay, there are spirits hearing and listening and it's not in my hands. It's just all a monitorization spirit, whatever. I do believe in the spiritual realm. Okay, some people think that if you are against part of religious psychosis, that you also must be demonic or something. No, I grew up like in the doctrine of like the church and the evangelicals. I've seen people manifesting. It really made me believe that yes, people can be possessed, and yes, spirits can listen to you. But don't make it your whole personality. Don't make it like an excuse for absolutely everything in your life. Just be careful. That's all I wanna say. Let me know what you think.